Our greetings to all over the world, wherever you are. I suppose you might need to listen to my story of a special journey to Zimbabwe. And this video is about my journey that I made to Zimbabwe. It was so special because it had to be done during December. And December is a very difficult month for anyone to get leave from work in the UK. So it became some kind of relief when I got this leave to go to Zimbabwe from my employers. I had one thing in mind: home gathering, an exceptional home gathering. It had to be special. I'd been to Zimbabwe, but never in December since 2007. Leave were not available in December. It is always not available in most employments in the UK. So this was an exceptional request to my employers, and I explained to them that I never had any Christmas for over 15 years outside in Zimbabwe. They understood that I felt something was missing. So when they accepted, of course they had to make up. That is something else. This is something that happens once in a while for someone, for everyone. It so happened that I was so thrilled when I got the acceptance from my employers. I was thrilled. I could imagine going back home, thrilled to meet my folks and have a special gathering with elders and young, and have that taste of mazoe, maheu, African food, organic, of course, and slaughtering a beast. This had not happened in my presence for a long time. It is a long time since I was involved in slaughtering an ox for a feast. And this time I was to witness one of those occasions. The African mood of a festive season is different from the one in the UK. People do the gathering, and the Christmas is usually giving presents. In an African view, it's just food, sharing food, not real presents. Although we have now sort of changed and adopted to getting gifts. During my time, when I was young, Christmas Day was just a day of having chicken and rice. That is when we had a special meal of rice. Rice was so special that it was meant for Christmas Day only. With chicken. Well, chicken were there, but they were not usually slaughtered now and again. You only had chicken when the parents decided that we had to have chicken, a special meal that day. But usually when a visitor comes home, that's when you have a chicken slaughtered. And for that day, you all have chicken. So, mazoe and maheu. Maheu is an African brew of a kind of non-alcoholic beer. It is an opaque type of drink that is brewed at home I used to make it myself. I can still make it, and I've made it here in the UK sometimes, but you need to have the brew malt that is used to mix with the ingredients to make sure that you get the right taste of the brew. Here I was sitting now in the plane, contemplating on what to think about next, the long journey or what had happened earlier in the morning, trying to grapple with time before the taxi almost left us. The urban mixture of trends gives a different perspective to African tradition for Christmas. So the Christmas that I had in mind was not probably what I would expect, but it still has got that African thing that you always yearn for. The gathering, the way people gather. So in this case, we had organized that our families and friends gather at our place, because we were the people who had been away for so long and they never had a Christmas in the country for so long. So we wanted everybody to come and enjoy with us the African Christmas, and we would provide the food for everyone. This was an open invitation to the locals, that is the surrounding neighbors and other relatives from some other towns and the rural areas. So it was quite a huge gathering at our home, and it was what we would expect to be an African thing. So on the day of leaving for the UK, for Zimbabwe, we had so much preparations at night, and with the excitement of what we was expecting to have, we overdid it and overslept until we were late for a taxi to the airport. Fortunately, we made up anyhow, and the taxi, we had to pay extra to get us to the airport at Gatwick. This is where the journey began. So the incident with the taxi driver, I think is for another video, but for this instance, I want you to come with me on our journey to Zimbabwe, as we went through all the occasions expected for a journey from London, Gatwick, to Zimbabwe, and we're flying Ethiopian. It is normally the African flight that many take. It is commonly the most, if not most favorable or most available flight almost at any time to fly to Africa. And their fleet in Addis Ababa shows that they actually have a big area to cover, both in Africa and Europe. I saw their list on one of the pamphlets, which was very impressive and very impressive, that an African fleet of that nature would cover such destinations. I think it is one of the biggest African flights. It's got the biggest fleet of aircrafts. So now we go into the journey itself, starting from Gatwick. I didn't have much here to do, but my mind was still looking forward to what is ahead. So as we go along, you'll see that I may say very little along the way. Obviously, I'm at a loss of words for what I expected to see in Africa. After the journey, then we will discuss what actually happened in Zimbabwe. So follow me here and let's go and follow the video on from London, Gatwick to Ethiopia, and then from Ethiopia to Zimbabwe, Bulawayo. Like this video, you share it with others, and also remember to subscribe to my channel. Baba Kobe channel will bring you more of this kind of stories or videos, and I'm sure you're going to like it. So let's get on into the journey. Back to Africa, Addis Ababa. In Addis Ababa, back to Africa. Here we were led to wait in this area to get into a taxi to take us to the hotels. It was a waiting area, as you can see. There were a few of us, but some people came later and joined us when we were getting into the taxi. And we started a little journey to our bed night, or for our night to sleep. We were going to the hotel. We were anxious. We were so tired, but it is still anxious to go to Africa and see what we expect or expected. The mazoe and beef, chicken, African chicken, and organic mangoes, all to be enjoyed as soon as we get there. This was never something that we expected in a number of years. It was extraordinary. So, looking at the Ethiopian town, Addis Ababa, we could see that we were in Africa, but we still could not believe it, because the town does not give that impression of being in Africa. Walking along to our room now. A quick view of our rooms, bathrooms, and so on showed us it was quite a good place. It was quite good. It was not what we expected, but it was quite good. So we spent most of our time in the restaurant trying to get or see what type of food we're going to have, an African meal. But it wasn't much, but what would you expect at night after a flight? The most that we wanted was bed, just to go to bed. But we still had to have something to eat. So we sat there and waited until we were served. You have to request it. We're looking around. It was quite a good restaurant. It was still decorated for Christmas. Ethiopia. And here we come. Our food was served. there was the meal. Quite exceptional, but not bad. It wasn't long before we got up again to go back to the airport for the next flight. So we were leaving this well-decorated Christmas area, and there we were. The footage was all the way back to the airport in the early hours of morning, so we didn't even have breakfast. However, with the excitement to get home, we didn't mind that much. But we'll see some of the best views of Addis Ababa from the vehicle that we were traveling in. Addis Ababa was not bad at all. It looked nicer at night or in dusk. I think lighting showed the city to look a bit nicer than one would during the day. The lighting usually makes the city look beautiful. Addis Ababa is not bad. It is quite beautiful. At least the portion that we saw. There are other areas one would expect Africa to improve, but this was quite good. A good standard for Africans. So we are catching up. Leaving Ethiopia this morning into the airport. We're departing now on our way to Zimbabwe. The wait, although short, appears to be very long when you are anxious to get back, to get home. Hi guys, morning. In Ethiopia now. This is Africa. Airports. At the airport from there, waiting for the next flight to the next destination. So see you when we get there. Can't wait to get home.